AI is here, and though a lot of people fight it on the internet, I get so many comments about this whenever I just even discuss it. It's here, and so people are going to use it, and you're throwing a fit about it. It's not going to do anything about that. So you can either learn about it and learn the drawbacks, the good things, or whatever, because there's both. Any technology is both, except for that, like Apple. What was it? The glasses? What was that called? The Apple Vision Pro. Yeah, $3,500 for that. I just saw an article the other day. I know I'm going on a tangent already. But I saw an article about like how people bought that, and I was going to buy it as a joke for YouTube, and I'm like, I can't, even as a joke, I can't $3,500. Like I can't. Yeah, I know I could tax write it off or whatever, but it's still way too much. Like there's no use for that product in reality ever. Like they did the Google glasses several years back, and that was stupid. And that might actually be a piece of technology that, like, just because of the environmental impact of building those and then them all ending up in the trash, only is a net negative to society. And you lost $3,500 to give your money to Apple. That's pretty rough. But as far as like most technology, there's positive and negatives on things that we can look at, and we can analyze and have nuanced discussion on youtube.com. Yes, that's a thing we can do here, my friends. So please hit the like and subscribe button. I always talk about all things that are important to the publishing industry and books and audiobooks and the like. I'm an author myself. I've written 20 plus novels and 13 graphic novels. And I have a wonderful narrator, by the way, who does all of my audiobooks. His name's Zach. And he has done all these books, not AI. And so I really appreciate him. And if you appreciate him and his non-AI narration, or if you just want to support him and me and some great content creators out there as we build our brand and, of course, get great science fiction and fantasy out there, go grab this. This is The Stars Entwined. It is a beautiful space opera, military science fiction. You're going to enjoy it. It builds up. It's got great characters to it. And go on ACX, spend your credit, support Zach. Guy's trying to make a living as an audiobook narrator, and he's a good guy. And I would love for you to give him money. And so he's done this full trilogy. He's done my Justified trilogy. And so, of course, my steampunk trilogy for not trilogy, 6-book series for Steam and Country and Von Monocle. That's done by a female narrator because it's a female protagonist who's wonderful too. Her name's Emma Faye. And so I would love for you guys to check those out. This is a good spot for books. I'm glad you found us. Grab these in the description below. Sign up for my newsletter so I don't lose you too. And let's talk about Amazon. So Amazon is a bad business practice-centric sort of thing. And I don't necessarily have a problem with any sort of AI technology or any other technology because I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. And like I said, it's here. And so you got to learn to use it because everybody else is going to be using it. And if you just drag your feet and complain, a lot of people drag their feet and complained about moving from typewriters to computers, and then suddenly you have a way you can edit on a screen without having to like retype a whole page. That's pretty cool. People complained about Photoshop and, of course, image manipulation, things like that. When that first came out on the art end, people complained about all this stuff. And so this is one. And the thing is, like, you can use this, and it's pretty interesting. Like, I would love to record Zach's voice and just have it spit it out and have Zach be able to then go through and edit it and then have him like take less time on my books and make more money and actually put out more books. That'd be awesome. Now, I've already got all of my books out on audio, so this is not even going to impact me. But for creators who can't afford an audiobook narrator because, there's a lot of people who are going to have sales of most books sell under 100 copies if you don't know that. And so they can't afford that sort of thing. I'm very blessed, and I appreciate you guys being here. That's going to help those people be able to get their books on audio and maybe get some readers that they wouldn't have otherwise, right? Is really where it comes down to. Now, if Zach can farm out his voice and get a fee off of that when they wouldn't be used otherwise, that's good for Zach, right? If Amazon, of course, abuses this system, that's bad for everybody. And that's kind of where there's nuance to all this and discussion to be had about all this. Now, Amazon is a bad monopolistic, bad business practices sort of company, and it sucks. And I know I'm selling books on Amazon, but it's the only option. As an author, you are trapped. I don't know if you know this about this, but Amazon really makes you sign up for their Kindle Unlimited sort of situation, right? And a lot of people read on Kindle Unlimited. Now, to sign up for this, you have a couple of benefits that you can have a Kindle countdown, and Amazon kind of helps boost your book for a little bit because it's on sale. And you can also put it up for free for a certain amount of days if you want to do that. Now, when you do that, like I said, Amazon boosts you in their little rankings. They blast out emails that you've got deals going on, etc. And so you get some boosts from doing that, right? Not only that, but the Kindle Unlimited readership, like those people don't read outside of Kindle Unlimited. So if you want to tap into that audience, you got to tap into that. So you kind of have to be on there. And, you can say, well, don't be on that. Be on Barnes & Noble and Kobo and whatever. And I've tested it. I've actually put my books on my own website for a while. People just don't buy outside the Amazon ecosystem. It is well worth it to be on here. And now here's the problem with it. Whenever somebody reads on Kindle Unlimited, I get a third of the revenue I would get if somebody actually bought the book. That's a bad thing for me, right? And so there's bad things about it. And, does it overall increase? I mean, if Kindle Unlimited didn't exist, would those people just be buying books? Maybe. And so that's something you got to consider. That Amazon forced me into this monopolistic situation because it's the only game in town where it's really the only spot where people are buying ebooks. And I'm stuck there now. On top of this, on the audio end, if you don't know about their audio sort of situations, if you don't go exclusive with them, you lose half your royalties. Like it's like a 60% royalty. I forget the exact amount. If you're signed up with them, I mean, they take an absurd amount anyway, which is, for a delivery service. They should only be taking like 10, 20%. And then if you don't sign up exclusive, they only give you half the royalties. So again, because everybody's got ACX Audible credits, you have to be on here because it's Amazon. And this is going to make this the same way because it's their AI and all that is going to be the only way these people are going to be able to produce audiobooks. It's about Amazon gaining control, not about the actual technology itself. And Amazon gaining control. And if you know about Amazon, they run their own printer centers for this stuff to make them print on demand. They run their own distribution networks. So the distribution that goes to bookstores and all that is all owned by Amazon at this point. They've got every step of the way controlled up the supply chain. And that way, it's also because I've printed my books with Amazon. I've printed my books with Ingram Spark. If you print your books with Ingram Spark, you get half the revenue of Amazon because Amazon could do it all cheaper because they don't need to make as much on that end. Terrible monopolistic tendencies, and it's something that needs to be looked into. So that's my background on Amazon on this for a minute. Now AI is pretty interesting. I love AI. I use it for quite a bit. I like Midjourney. I use it for a lot of my thumbnails and things like that for different things because I can make just a quick art real quick of somebody reading a book, and that's what I'll do for this, or maybe with headphones for an audiobook, just to make it look cool and so that people click. I also use it sometimes to generate YouTube titles on here. I feed it my information. I say, can you make me a quick title in the name of Yellow Flash or whatever? I think that's fun. So it's only going to get better too. I've tested it for writing stories. There are problems with that. And you can get away with doing a short story without having to do huge substantive edits, but it goes off the rails really, really quickly right now if you try to do anything longer. I think that's going to change, and I think it'll get better, and I think you'll be able to do things faster in that regard too. And we'll see how that goes for the future. AI music's a lot further ahead because music's much more mathematical than writing is, so it's a lot easier for it to do something on that level. Now, the narration's interesting because it can copy vocal inflections and tones, and right now I'm sure it's not in the best spot because it probably doesn't do things like Amazon is rolling out an AI audiobook narration. Okay. It probably could mess things up and go, Amazon is rolling out a audiobook AI narration. And you might have problems like that from time to time, right? Just from the inflection. But it'll get better at that as it figures things out and figures out sentence structure as it goes along as well. Now, again, from Zach's perspective, if Zach can farm out his voice, and their program that they're launching is people can have their voices uploaded on there, and they get a royalty for every time an author uses this kind of thing. Now, I think it's right now much better to just use Zach because he can do vocal inflections and make calls on what a sentence is supposed to sound like that an AI is not going to be able to do. But if you can't do that, and you just need to have an audiobook out there because you're never going to be able to even afford Zach for his time, if Zach can farm out his voice to those people and make a little bit off that, that's pretty good. Now, the problem with Amazon is I know the cuts that they're going to give these narrators like 5% or something stupid, and they're going to really not make that much for what they do because that's exactly how Kindle Unlimited works. That's how the ACX credits work. You get far less of royalties than if you would have just priced it and like had somebody actually buy it. That's what Amazon does. They get you on these credit systems, these monthly subscription systems, and they already are rolling out Audible subscription like KU also. And so with that, you're going to make less money overall. And so it becomes a catch-22. But at the same time, like, audiobooks are a big barrier to entry right now. It costs a ton to set one up, and it has to be worthwhile for the narrator. And so you have two choices. You can split your profits with the narrator, which is what I do, and because I sell enough books, Zach's happy. But for most people, they don't sell enough books for other people to be happy. Otherwise, I have commissioned audiobooks before. You have to spend $1,000, $2,000 just to commission it, and they typically want some royalties after that. And so that's pretty painful on that level, and a lot of people just can't and will never make that, because you'll make about $2 back per audiobook. So you have to sell 500 books. Like I said, most books don't sell even 100 books, right? And so that's where the problem is. So this will get people in. So there's drawbacks and there's benefits to this. It's interesting. I like technology. I think it is interesting, and I'm interested in it. I don't need it, and so it doesn't really matter to me. But I think it will be helpful for a lot of struggling authors. I think a few audiobook narrators will make a little bit extra income out of it. And most other audiobook narrators will probably not be impacted too much in the short term. But when it catches up in the long term, a lot of these people might kind of just be gone by the wayside, because it's just easier to do. And that's a sad fact about Amazon, and a sad fact about what they do here. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Do check out my books, guys, and check out especially the audiobooks. Support Zach, my narrator here. And grab all these books on Amazon right now. I know, I just shit on Amazon the whole video. But it's the only way to do it. Like I said, I'm forced into this system. And I do need to make a living, and so does Zach. And so we appreciate you reading great science fiction. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll be back soon.